everyone has had an opinion, and it's all been the same. The NBA All-Star Game, NBA All-Star Weekend sucked. I think you're right about that. The one thing, though, I did not hear was a solution. How do we fix it? And this is why I'm excited to talk to you right now, is because all day, listening, watching, reading, on Twitter, looking, no one has actually come up with a solution. And I have one. I have a very simple solution that I think will fix NBA All-Star Weekend, make the players more, you want to call it intense, care more, try more, participate more in the skills competition. And the fix is very simple. Timing. Move NBA All-Star Weekend from where it is now in late February and put it in late May. That 3-month move, that 3-month difference between now and the end of May, right after the conference finals are over, if that's when you put NBA All-Star Weekend, that to me is what is going to be the big difference in all of a sudden now having more players participate in skills competitions, having more players care about the game itself, try, play defense, and actually put an effort in to what is essentially an exhibition. But that's, I think, a very simple solution, very practical solution, where if you change the timing of the game, move it 90 days from its originally scheduled date on President's Day weekend to maybe about Memorial Day weekend, or maybe it's the first weekend in June, whenever kind of that schedule works out when the conference finals end, I think we'll see a uptick in player involvement, players caring, and an overall better product for the weekend. And here's why moving it simply 3 months later will get this dramatic impact in my mind. It's very simple. Motivation. We have to look at why players aren't motivated to play in the All-Star Game. And it's very simple, and I honestly can't fault them. They are motivated not by money, because we've seen Adam Silver and the NBA try to initiate and make it, incentives to where the winning team gets more money in the NBA All-Star Game than the losing team. The winner of the slam dunk contest gets more money than the finisher in second place, third place, and fourth place. If you win the three-point contest, you get more money than the second place finisher. That's obviously not worked. Money has not worked because the players' salaries are so high that an extra $100,000 or the difference of being first and second being $50,000 is not that much to move the needle. Here is what players are motivated by on All-Star Weekend and why they're not trying, not participating. They are motivated or really kind of pushed by a fear of injury. They don't want to get hurt. And I can't sit here and fault them for that. Their main motivation coming out of All-Star Game weekend is to come out healthy and ready to play for the home stretch of the regular season. With where the schedule is right now, we are sitting here in late February. Depending on the team's schedule, there's about 25, 30 games left. So we're kind of in the dog days of the NBA regular season. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can see the NBA playoff seedings starting to take shape. So if you're a player like Giannis or Jason Tatum or LeBron James going into All-Star Game weekend, sure you want to play, sure you want to win, you want to have fun, but your main motivator is coming out of Saturday and Sunday healthy and ready to play down the home stretch. You heard LeBron James yesterday saying, this 23-game finale for the Lakers is the biggest 23-game regular season stretch of his career. That's a guy who's not going to waste energy or put himself in a position to get hurt in an All-Star game that is meaningless and hurt the Lakers' chances of making the playoffs. You saw Giannis score one basket, play exactly 20 seconds, and check himself out of the game because he had a wrist injury he suffered earlier last week in the final before the All-Star Game weekend. He took himself out because he realized playing through a wrist injury in an exhibition game is not worth potentially getting hurt or hurting the wrist even more, missing time, or going to the playoffs limited and thus hurting the Bucks' ability to potentially win a championship this year. No one cares about winning the All-Star Game or winning All-Star Game MVP or winning the slam dunk contest if it means proposing a risk where they get hurt and hurt their team's chances of making the playoffs or being a real threat to win the finals once the postseason comes around. You had Luka Doncic basically say the quiet part out loud. Luka was mic'd up last night on TNT. And there was a stretch early, I believe it was in the first quarter, where Luka is coming back on defense. I forget who the player was he was guarding, but it was almost a one-on-one situation. And the announcers, Brian Anderson, is joking with him. Oh, Luka, here you go. Time to play defense. And Luka's saying, oh, no. I'm not going to play defense. I don't want anyone to get hurt. And I do apologize. I forget who he was guarding. Both of them go right by him for an easy layup. He wasn't going to play defense because he wasn't going to try for a steal, maybe hit someone on the wrist, hurt him, make him fall, hurt himself. And we saw it the entire game yesterday. No one played defense. No one tried because they are afraid of getting hurt and costing their team either a chance to make the playoffs or a chance to be a real threat come playoff time. And I can't sit here and criticize any player on All-Star Game weekend for being motivated by championships rather than winning, an All-Star Game competition or winning the All-Star Game itself. That is why no one is trying. So if you move this game from late February to late May, once conference finals are over, and you mirror what the NFL does, I think now you get more player participation. I know we don't want to give the Pro Bowl any credit, and it doesn't really deserve any because now they've literally canceled the game, and it's flag football and no one cares. But football's different. But the NFL's schedule of how and when they play things, I think is something the NBA should look at. I think the NBA does it, I think the NFL does it perfectly. We have the regular season, you have the playoffs, and then right before the Super Bowl, the biggest event on the NFL calendar, you have the Pro Bowl kind of tucked in there between the playoffs and between the Super Bowl and that 2-week gap. So it's the penultimate event. You're kind of celebrating everyone's greatness in the regular season right before you are about to crown a champion for that year. I think the NBA should adopt that same schedule, where you have the regular season, you play the entire regular season through, get your playoffs, go all the way through the playoffs, conference finals are done, you have your two teams getting set to play in the finals for your championship, but right before that, right before the biggest series of the NBA season is set to commence, that weekend, put All-Star Game weekend. Celebrate everyone else whose team is not in the championship. Celebrate everyone else who's had a career year in the regular season, and give them their flowers as kind of like almost like a celebration, if you will, of the season before the finale, which is the NBA Finals, do start. And I think if you are now putting players in an All-Star game in which they are eliminated, because no one in the NBA Finals is going to be playing in the All-Star game, so that goes out without saying. But otherwise, if you have everybody else eliminated from the playoffs and their season is over, why wouldn't they play? Why wouldn't they try hard? Why wouldn't they participate in some skills competition events if if the concern of injury is basically gone because your season is over? Right? You're not worried about jeopardizing your team's chances of making a deep playoff run because your season is already over. It's done. The offseason is here. So, if you let's just look at quickly this the slam dunk competition from this weekend. I think this is the perfect example. The slam dunk competition is supposed to be the marquee event of All-Star Game weekend, right? We've seen some big names play. We've seen some big-time dunks. Saturday night, in case you missed it, which I can't blame you if you did miss it, these were the 4 participants in the slam dunk contest this year. Mac McClung, G-Leaguer. Jericho Sims, reserve center on the Knicks. Trey Murphy III, second year at the Pelicans, career points per game, 9. And KJ Martin, 3 years in the league, all at the Rockets, and he's most notably known for being Kenya Martin's son. Those are the 4 players that participated in the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. Let me ask you this. In a field with Mac McClung, Jericho Sims, Trey Murphy III, and KJ Martin, did anyone cancel their Saturday night plans? If you had a date night with the wife or significant other, maybe you were scheduled to, you and the boys or you and your friends hitting the town, gonna, go hang out, go have a few drinks and just have a good time like a normal Saturday night. Is anyone saying, not tonight, sorry, it's slam dunk contest, I gotta be locked in, I gotta watch Mac McClung and Jericho Sims to see what they have to bring? No. I'll speak from personal experience. I didn't change my plans whatsoever to, center around the skills competition. I had a nice family dinner on Saturday night. Afterwards, it was kind of early. We went out to a bar, me and some of my cousins. And sure that the slam dunk contest was on in the background. Once in a while, I'd take a peek over, see who's going on, maybe watch one dunk. But was I glued to the TV? Absolutely not. Did I make sure to run home and watch the highlights after it was over? Absolutely not. The slam dunk contest, how you get people interested and intrigued? Names. guys like LeBron James, Ja Morant, Zion Williamson participating, that is how you get viewers. That is how you get people entertained and intrigued by watching the slam dunk contest, is by having big names participate. And I can't blame LeBron James, Ja Morant, Zion Williamson for not participating in years past because, again, the risk of injury is there. You land wrong on your ankle. You blow out your knee or you twist your knee. All of a sudden now your team's playoff chances are in real, danger, or your chance to compete for a championship is on the brink because you hurt yourself in a meaningless, contest that doesn't mean much. You move this contest along with All-Star Game weekend to the rest or to the end of the season, what's holding you up? If the Lakers, let's say this is 10 years ago, because at this point LeBron James at his age, that ship has sailed, but this is 10 years ago, and LeBron's on Lakers, and Lakers got bounced in the second round, there's no excuse for LeBron not to participate in the slam dunk contest. Pelicans get bounced in the second round this year, and Zion's healthy, feeling good. Why wouldn't he go to the slam dunk contest? So I think this solution, if you want a better All-Star game, if you want bigger names to participate in the slam dunk contest, if you want more defense played in the All-Star game itself and have it resemble a game instead of basically a one-on-one showcase where you're throwing alley-oops to yourself and you're jacking up shots from half court because no one's defending. If you actually want a real game, a spirited game where the best are playing the best and actually trying, I think the solution is very simple. Move it to the end of the year. Move it to where 28 of the 30 teams' seasons are over. You remove that fear of injury. I think now you allow players to play harder and have them be more inclined to participate in some of those special events on Saturday night.